And
Preston
just gave birth, everybody, right here on TV. Oh, it's a beautiful bouncing boy.
Who just gave birth?
You. Oh, shoot, Preston just gave
We
birth.
gotta do it again.
Preston
His mating call. Crude but effective.
If we do it again, the downstairs neighbors will make a noise.
Or will they?
We can use the magic of editing. No! The name. So we can't.
Okay. I'm sorry.
My guys, my lads. Hi, my name's Preston. And I like giving birth.
Hi, my name. Today at exactly 12:45, your couch will disappear, and in its place will be a tiny sink. Do not drink the water from that sink.
No, don't wash your hands in it.
Do not wash your hands in that sink.
Drinking and washing your hands is the same thing.
Not quite. Because you can wash your hands with non-potable water, but you can't drink non-potable water.
You can't put with handable water.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You know what else you can do?
Play handy hands.
That's how we play handy.
This is the day I get booted out.
Prostate! I can hear him talking. I'm sorry, we're done. We're done.
Slap.
So, what's basically like the best public freak out that you've watched that wasn't you?
Oh shoot. I'm gonna need a couple minutes. How about you, Regulon?
Could it be something like you've seen on the internet? Because I've seen some doozies.
Yeah, it could be on the internet.
I've seen some real doozies, that's for sure. I don't know, probably the one that's like stuck in my head the most was I watched a woman freak out because like this couple kissed in line at getting like a sandwich at a sandwich shop, and she like lost it, kept saying that they were having sex in the store, and like
What's really funny are the ones where it's like the person themselves who's doing the freak out that's recording it. You are just sowing your own demise.
Well, and the lady wasn't on this one. She wasn't recording it. There was a couple that was recording it, and the thing is like she called the police and everything. And then when it was all said and done, she gets her sandwich or whatever it was that she ordered. She demands a refund. They won't give her a refund. She just wanted a refund for no reason. And then instead of sticking around and waiting for the police to show up, she leaves. She leaves the scene of the crime. So she really screwed herself. I don't even know why, but
do you know what I'm talking about though? Those ones where it's like it's the person who's doing the freak out who is the one recording it. And they're just thinking that they're just, I'm just gonna get this person in trouble. They remind me of like that kid in grade school is walking up to the teacher and like telling a bald-faced lie, and they're like totally unembarrassed that the rest of the class is just like sitting there with their mouth open like, we can all hear you. and they like have a smile on their face while they're lying to the teacher in front of the whole class to like get a bunch of people in trouble. And it's just like the cringiest thing. It's the worst thing. You got to look on your face like you got something to say.
I was about to say, sounds like you got some experience there, Prestorongus.
Like we all kind of do, though.
Yeah.
We all kind of do. So probably the worst public freak out that I was ever I didn't just witness it. I was like literally in the middle of it. There was this girl who she was using her state food benefits to buy. Yeah, you know what? She might have been buying some items that maybe I wouldn't have bought using food stamps. You don't get up in someone's face and start into their nose about it, and you're just like right in the middle of public. You're not going to change anybody's mind. You're going to make yourself look like a jerk. So this girl's checking out right in front of me, and she's buying some things, and then there's a woman behind me who's just kind of like groveling to herself and like making a bunch of like just crappy comments. I had no idea what she was talking about. But this old woman was like, I mean, she was way farther away than me, and she just honed in. She has this like EBT card goggles, and she starts making these comments, and then she kind of walks over to me and's like, I've always worked for my money. And because then you end up in that weird situation where you're like, you know what, I respect you for having worked for your money, you know, like I might agree with you, but please don't drag me into this. I just want to, like, all I had was one sandwich. I had one sandwich. The girl in front of me had like a whole bunch of stuff. So we had some time for this all to play out. And the woman behind me just kept like trying to get me to like agree with her in public. She needed affirmation that her anger was justified. And so I'm just like, okay, please. The only reason I'm here is because the self-checkout is all clogged up. I wouldn't even be here. Please don't talk to me. She ends up talking loud enough that the girl in front of me hears it. And then, of course, now we have a white trash freak out, and there's 2 white trash people on either side of me in the middle of Walmart. And they're both saying, it's funny because the actual things that they're both yelling about, they're both going, I work hard. And then the other one's like, I work hard. And then the other one's like, well, I work hard. And then the other one's like, mind your business. And then the other one's like, this is my tax dollars. It is my business. And I'm just like, oh my God, stop. And then they both, throughout the argument, are like, what do you think? And I'm like, I don't think at all. I just want my sandwich.
Amen, brother.
Oh my gosh, it was terrible. Dude, I was sweating by the time it was done. Really, all that happened was I feel like they both hated me for not like picking a side more than they ended up hating each other. They're probably friends now.
How dare
like,
you
that
not be
stupid
upset?
guy who wouldn't pick a side. Yeah, he had great eyes.
Alright, well, shoot, I can think of like some minor ones, but the most memorable one was like when high school football coach kind of freak out, but it was so clearly staged, like he had planned this. And
those are the worst because it never goes to plan.
Yeah.
And then it's just, oh man.
The thing is, like, you could tell he like watched some football movie and was like, you know what? Look at that coach freak out. That will inspire these kids. And it was like clearly a staged thing he had planned out. I didn't care. I didn't care at the time, but
That's what you get for playing football.
I didn't care about football at all. But I kind of resented football. But like this coach freak out was like some comedy gold, because like I'm watching this and he can kind of tell that we're like, he can tell we see right through it, but he like doubles down on it and starts yelling. But he likes making some inhuman noises kind of when he's yelling. It's like he's yelling, but his voice is cracking. not too far accurate. It wasn't necessarily a big freak out, but boy, it was really funny.
Yeah, those are honestly the worst. To touch on that subject, my favorite pastime is being a middle schooler and making the substitute teachers leave crying. That was the goal, and if the next day the principal came in and said, you know what, that substitute teacher, she left crying and she said she's never coming back. And like, what do you expect? We're the ones who made her cry. You think that we're gonna be like, oh no, guys, let's rethink our decision making? Where everyone's just like, oh my gosh, yes, bring on the next one. Like, can we get like a really tough guy and see if we can make him cry too? Like these are the kids who made the teacher leave crying, and you think that just coming back and stating that we were successful is going to make us upset? Like, come on.
It's just going to make it worse.
It's just going to make it worse. It's like,
Do it again
yeah.
next time.
It's like a new target? Yes, please.
Yes, it is.
No.
So, would you eat horse?
Oh, yeah?
You'd eat a horse?
I'd absolutely eat a horse.
What about you?
I mean, I'd be willing to try it. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, as far as like, if I just like to eat horses. But,
I would eat a
Theoretically,
horse as long as I didn't know the horse.
no, I mean,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not the same with pigs. Like I'll raise a pig and I'll straight bonk that thing on the head. I don't care. But like if
the unga bunga bonk.
the unga bonk. Like if I knew the horse, like not gonna happen.
Like, oh, not Ted Bundy.
Not
He would always eat apples right out of my
on Ted
hands.
Bundy. We gotta edit that out.
No, that's saying it.
Hey, no, that's perfectly safe.
I will. So theoretically, I imagine a horse meat is pretty dang healthy. Like it's very muscular meat on an animal that eats a whole lot of plants.
Mhm.
Very muscular, lean meat. It's eat it up, eat it like it was spaghetti. Eat it on a little sandwich, and you just have a time.
Yeah, no,
I would eat horse.
It would be good, to be honest. Like we're totally getting canceled for having this conversation, but
Yeah.
for the most part, you don't have to worry about people. Like you could eat horse meat just raw, like that. It's probably cleaner than most beef, to be honest. Like as far as like parasites in the meat, because they're not eating. You do not have to worry about somebody feeding a horse like horse carcass. Like it's just not a thing that's gonna happen. They're gonna eat hay and alfalfa and
Yeah,
grazed.
but they do. The only reason why horses usually have less parasites is because most people that own horses will actually treat them for worms and parasites more often than a lot of other animals.
Which makes 0 sense.
Well, you have to think about the people that own horses.
Yeah. Speaking of
People who own horses are crazy.
so
They're just
I'm
nuts,
I'm
every
gonna
single one.
I'm gonna preface this.
But that also goes. Let me just say this though, the reason why they do is because horses actually are more susceptible to parasites than other animals. So that's why.
Horses are just the worst investment possible.
No,
it's like
you can't say
worse.
that.
It's like worse than it's like worse than buying a muscle car.
Preston, you're gonna
It's
get
just
hunted
about as
down
bad.
by a bunch of horsey-lawns.
Well, I mean, you won't get as nearly the enjoyment out of
How
a
crazy
car
can
as
horse
you will a
people
horse
possibly
that-
get? How crazy could horse people possibly get?
I'm gonna preface this by saying not all horse people are crazy.
But all crazy people are horse people.
I'm gonna say
That one is true.
I'm gonna say almost all crazy people I know do have like a weird fascination for horses, like not in a practical sense, but like
Yeah, like our good friend Baggy.
yeah. One of my favoriteest things in the whole wide world, besides blinking my eyes 5 times, is wandering around buildings I'm not supposed to be in. I was wandering around campus like la 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 la. I wandered into this big old lecture hall. In fact, it's like a weird horseshoe shaped building. Wow, what a coincidence!
Oh my god.
And I went inside, and there's these large doors that lead into this big sunken lecture hall. It seats quite a few. So I go into the hallway, and it's dark. All the lights are off, whatever. So I assume it's closed. But I'm like, oh wow, the doors are unlocked. Hoo-hee! And I walk in, but I hear a whole lot of noise coming from in the lecture hall.
Is it horse noises?
Not yet, but there would be. So there's a whole lot of light and a whole lot of noise coming from like between the doors, like underneath. And so I'm just dying of curiosity. And I'm thinking like, oh, maybe it's like a dance thing, or who knows, a late night lecture. So I walk in and I manage to find a seat, and I like sneakily sit down. So I managed to sit down, and it's like a packed house. Like I was kind of lucky to get that seat because all around me the seats were like filled, and it's like older people, students. But there's a loud musical presentation going on, and I'm like shocked, like what is this? What's going on? And it's a video, and of like this excavator dumping a boulder into this like big old funeral pyre, and there's text scrolling up, and it's talking about how it's like either talking how horses want to murder people and they made an alliance with rocks to murder people, and that's why so many freak accidents happen on the highway, or it was about how horses are like trying to save humans and rocks are like the enemy, and like rocks speak to one another through magical dust.
So was Alex Jones hiding behind the curtain, or?
I would not be surprised.
Sorry, Alex Jones, please don't hunt me down.
Or please do. That'd be kind of funny.
we'll eat chili together.
We'll eat chili. But
Big old bowl of chili.
But so the video ends, and it's just crazy dialogue about rocks and horses talking to each other, and like this big conspiracy to kill people. And I'm walking in here with no context, and I'm freaking out. In fact, I thought I was dreamt this up until the next morning, and I saw the texts and photos I took, and sure enough, it did happen. But it was like this lady was giving the talk, and she's talking about how horses and rocks were the reasons that shootings happened in Paris, and I'm like, what? So
This is like so out there that I have no idea how to comprehend any of it.
that's how I felt. I sat.
You know what? This all
down.
makes sense to me. I don't know why you guys are so weirded out.
Yeah, they're talking through dust, talking to horse dust talk.
Quit talking like it's a joke. This is serious.
It was bonkers because there was like real, aside from photos of the Paris shootings and photos of
They actually showed, like, are you talking about like
they showed like photos of like where it happened in the police tape.
Okay.
And so, like, besides the shooting photos and photos of like boulders that hit cars on the highway, they were showing these like really bad CGI animations of like horses kind of dancing, and I was just losing it. It was
So Was this like a joke? What was this? Had to have been a joke.
I had to I wrote down the lady's name because I was freaking out. I looked her up and she has this website and it's like this very eccentric artist. And I was kind of relieved. I was straight relieved.
I was
in
concerned
quotations.
that it was like a bad acid trip or something.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought it was until I saw.
Live action role play of a couple nights she had in college.
So I walked home very confused that night. And I woke up that morning like, yawn, blink, blink. Wow, that must have been a crazy dream. But
Oh shit! It
Jimmy,
wasn't a
this was
dream.
art. The fact that you didn't just latch on and just know the beauty in this, you are just one of the common rabble.
well, it wasn't until she was talking about horses being like involved with the Paris shootings that I was like, okay, this might be a cult. This might be crazy. Before it could like when it was really wrapping up. And but before the lights came on and people started standing up, I like slipped out of there because I was going to be the next sacrifice. So I was like, oh, all right, bye. We found her website from her very own .com. I just want to like preface this that you remember I walked into a dark auditorium filled to the brim and this video's playing and this is what's being said. So the website's like, recently, the 40th Boulder, Opal, was accused and found guilty of serial murder. Before she was neutralized, she was seen in the Gallian region of Ramvon. She appears to come from a long lineage of suspected obscurantist rocks. She is the 40th convicted rock named after the 40th recorded hurricane. As it is customary, lithic murder became known on a broader audience only recently after hold on, I keep trying to read around this.
We follow the custom.
No, it's good. Tradition really binds the people up. So lithic murder became known to a broader audience only recently after suspicious string of deaths occurred simultaneously on roads adjacent to mountains. It was later discovered that these deaths were connected through an intelligent network of dust called smart dust. A system of many tiny micro-electromechanical systems. Events such as these remained rare due to the stone's slow geologic pace in contrast to humanity's accelerated speed. As with other past sedimented killers, Opal will be sent to Esperals where she will undergo various treatments and rituals. And then we're seeing some rocks burn, and this is totally normal for me to walk into in the middle of the night. A local villager will perform the rite of burning, as it is believed this will usher in a peaceful aeonic existence. Despite our concerted efforts to rid our roads of dust, it is difficult to prevent rocks from falling, or to predict when and where they will fall. And yeah, that's what I walked into. This video of them burning a rock and splashing water on a rock, and a montage of rocks crashing up on cars.
So them putting this giant boulder on top of a funeral pyre is them sentencing the rock to death?
I guess so. I mean, a villager did it after he splashed water on it. I think he knows what he's doing.
So this is so he's been sentenced to death and the
rock has been sentenced to death.
The rock has been sentenced to death.
It'll
the
bring
rock
in
has
an arrow
also
of peace.
is now been being baptized and is having the nice sacrament before having its.
He's the first communicant.
Yeah.
He's having a time. But this is the 40th one, so that means there's 39 other rocks still unaccounted for. 39 other rocks.
So where did the rocks go? I mean,
you can't burn a rock, so
you just kind of gotta check. You just kind of gotta check the bottom of the canyon.
You throw a rock in a fire, it still exists. So I mean, I don't understand.
Well, no. Here, did you try splashing water on it first, though?
Well, no.
There's your problem. Rembulon 5.
This is ridiculous.
Saskatchewan 4.
Saskatchewan.
I mean, I put rock. I have put wet rocks into a fire before, and they just.
I think the excavator is the key here.
Oh, okay. I mean, that is what. I guess maybe I'm not playing with big enough rocks.
Yeah.
Big enough fires.
Or maybe those were just the ones that Smart Dust hadn't blessed yet.
Yeah, true.
I think the Smart Dust is the key here. So, continuing on, she read that out loud while she was going through it, and then came the horse video, and I'm pulling that up now. And
yeah, of course, the horse video.
The horse video.
Somehow the horses are linked with the rocks.
Let's see. I think there's an explanation in here somewhere. Okay, so it opens with the man of... Oh, shoot. Hold on. The man of light knows how to make an entrance. And then there's some rocks.
This is all...
And some stock photos of
pictures
marble.
Of marble, yeah. Looks like a bunch of countertops.
Like a dark animal, he disappears to become only shadow. And then a CG horse pops up. It's like, oh, okay.
So now there's a horse in the photos of marble.
If they could only see this, I mean, this is like...
wow.
This is
teeth.
haunting.
Oh, wait, teeth winking from a mischievous grin.
I feel like I'm watching a breath mint commercial.
Yeah, right?
This is how it feels to chew 5 gum.
This is what it's like to have icebreakers.
Murder horse.
Okay, so we're still scrolling with
They-
marble.
They repeat. Okay. The winking teeth repeat, I suppose.
Okay, still more marble.
I told you last night, I bring horse to party. That's that's
Okay.
yeah. In a black Speedo, he holds a spear and impetuously slices through the light. Now at this point, you know, looking at this in retrospect, maybe she's working under a couple layers of irony and is pretty self-aware.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like
Or she's
if I
just
watch
an
this
idiot.
for too long, like I might get hypnotized into doing some sort of weird thing.
Like a cryptosodic organism, he absorbs his surroundings and grows into matter. This horse is deep. This horse knows about Pizzagate.
Yeah.
Collections of matter are being archived.
Still more marble
Horse.
and horse.
If everything is archived, why not show everything? Like your winking teeth, Preston.
No, because I'm going to have them all taken out and
Nope,
we
and
can put
there's
them in
some light
jars so
that
everyone
is-
can observe them.
Swallowing the horse.
Era after era, the layers of existence pile up to become a geological dream. And, you know, I'll give her credit. That's kind of halfway poetic if you're talking about sedimenting.
Yeah, Jimmy, she's so smart. She's so smart. I'm so inspired by her smartness.
The object tells a tale.
How long is this video? I'm just.
And the horses. Where's the one that talks about the murder horses?
Okay,
I know there was
hold up. How long was it? I want to know how long that video was because I mean, it's ridiculous.
It was 5 minutes. But I mean,
I swear it was longer than that. Come on.
in the middle of the night, me walking into it, it felt like
Okay, so
a
now
whole
we have
5 days.
dancing
Like 1,000
skeletons.
Yeah.
What is dancing skeletons and computers?
Those are some pretty
Microchips.
raunchy skeletons.
They're good dancers.
Seductively dancing skeletons.
Ooh, those
Oh,
skeletons.
so now we have like murderous computers.
I'm not sure if this one has like any captions to read with it, but it's like a stock animation, a stock dance animation, but applied to skeletons who are dancing in front of a lot of images of microchips and brains.
Sure, yeah, it makes sense to me.
I think I remember her playing this, but I don't think she like read anything while it played.
I'm so confused by this. Like, I swear, if this is like stuff I feel like I'd see if I was on acid or something. I don't.
What was she on? Drugs or something? Did she smoke one whole weed?
Whoa.
Whoa, brother. I feel like I know what she either had like a slideshow with words discussing about how horses were allied with rocks, or it was just something verbal she said, and that's why I can't find it on her website.
What is that?
That's what you look like on the inside.
That's what happens when you drink the chemicals in the water and lick some frogs.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I swear she also talked about how horses were involved with the Paris shootings, but I think it was just something she said verbally because I'm not seeing anything here on our website. So
That's a good thing because I mean, if that was on our website, I would be very concerned.
You know, she's either like, I don't know, looking at the rest of the website makes me kind of not think it's an ironic, funny thing.
Very well could be.
God bless America.